want to just use the cup on its own and just leave it sit. Our max is about 3 minutes to leave this sit on a trigger point, on a muscle structure. You can also do nice rounds of these. Pull that tissue up and then release the pressure one by one. I'm going to move that big one there, put a couple more on here. So let's say you had somebody come in with lung issues, very congested lungs. You can simply create your suction in rounds and then release it. So what this is doing is setting up a pumping movement right over the lung area. And is that comfortable? Okay. And then just start releasing them. And I use the valve at the top to release it. So setting up this pumping movement gets the blood moving up and back down, up and down. So what we're doing is getting a release from the lung tissue and from the muscular tissue. I really prefer to do that without the tube. It gives me a little better and easier release. But when I'm moving the cup, and now you can move the cup. How does that feel?
That feels awesome.
Good. Now really, really watch this cup as you're moving it. You saw it kind of got stuck right over her shoulder here. It just doesn't want to move. Very often I just tuck my gun, come behind it, move it over that spot, and you may see a nice dent occurring. So you see how that's pointed up in the cup? Has a little point on the tissue. As my husband says, that should look like a nice hamburger bun. This does not. She's got some adhesions in here. So now as I move that over, some of those release. So the neat thing with this is you can also evaluate your client on the table. You see that dent showing up and the way the cup just jumped. So she's got some pretty good adhesions in the infraspinatus, the supraspinatus, and you can see a little puckering in the tissue just as we get around there. The big trick to this, though, is lifting the cup. If you're pressing in on somebody, you're doing nothing but moving a cup over them. We lift it on that medial border. If not, we'd be digging in there with our hands. And you can do that too. Create your suction right over the spine here on the attachments of the rhomboid. Now come in and do that extension. So you've got a form of traction there. You see that little dent dancing in the middle of the cup there? Can you see that on camera?